Oh, it's this.
Speak up.
You're the best. No decision, right? I'm thinking that's not my property, this is my kid.
You're gonna have to fight for it.
Okay, I don't have.
But I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like. Yeah.
Oh, it's
I just.
better. So it's not, you know. There needs to be.
Yeah. Wrong, yeah, we could stand.
Oh.
Pick them up. I know, I sent it out. I said, this is what it's doing, you know, they're here. Here we go.
Well,
So I'll be waiting there.
they start talking.
And I'm not gonna hold it. And I was. So. And then that's why I said this. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, we'll just do this. So I had, like I said, he kind of responded with. Then.
Well, anybody is, when we do not start again, but I'm here, I will check it because it was ours, we have 7 minutes.
And I think it was really.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I think so. And then says still not. Right, I have somebody work on this. Covered. So if they can get them in there the next time, they really have to be like stuff nice, you know. Yeah. So I. So now
How's it going? I was gonna remind you that there's a little gym up there that might be able to help you with that knee. I saw you like hobbling around.
What you want to leave?
Oh, it's a foot. Geez, you're too young for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Making a land.
that's the best way to.
That's very good.
No, all that is good. Everything is good. You just did a shuffle. That's the condition of, I made a condition. So it is what's the one time.
I scooped it up already, Sam.
Right.
Okay. We are meeting for one more. Welcome. See the question of the. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, with liberty and justice for all. Twenty 23, page 4.5. First, item is agenda approval. Commissioner, a couple things we have presented, for remove item 3F and change items 6A and 6B for removal from the hearing. Those are acting. Motion second and discussion. To vote please. Yes. The consent agenda, Mr. Young. Commissioner, for that, I have the meeting minutes for August 22nd, 2023, the meeting minutes for 2023, and for 23 minutes. So Kelly, last night, the parent run English and a new hire in the jail deputy. I have a motion and second discussion. I will note in the minutes, please, that I will abstain from the August 22nd
Minutes as I was out. Call for vote, please.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yeah. Next is public comments. And we have signed up today, Rod Higginbotham. Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Got it already. How would I know? Got it.
So I don't know if these things are working because I can't hardly hear you guys at all. Anyway, my name is Rod Higginbotham, that's Nick Ferris. We're requesting the Huerfano commissioners here to give us control of the waste management over there at the transfer station. We understand it's not making money, it hasn't made money in years. There's no reason for that. It's costing us taxpayers a lot of money. We could take control of it and make it work and make it profitable. That's pretty much my pitch right there, you know, it's a pretty simple thing, it's nothing hard to do. We have the experience and the expertise to do it. So that's our request.
So we're not gonna act on just a request like that. We would have to have a proposal from you to act on. We can't just act.
I know, but we're requesting everybody to have a meeting about it, we'll bring up a proposal on how to do it and all of that. But nobody wants to give us information on how to do it, so we decided to bring it to you guys. So that we can get this information on how to do it, on how to have a meeting and get this transfer station working properly.
So did you hear that?
No. I don't think anybody else did either. That's what I mean, nobody can hear anything. The speakers need to go up or something.
So he's developing a request for proposals that would be sent out to the public. And then when you get that request for proposals, you respond to that and answer all the questions and provide the information that's identified in the request for proposals.
Okay, and then bring it to Carl?
Yeah, and there'll be instructions on that, on where to submit it, what date, everything.
Okay, so we'll meet with you after this.
No, I'll put out a request for proposals and then you'll submit something to that.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Nick? Did
Thank
want to
you.
say anything?
Thank you.
Chris Smith?
I just thought it was something to do, yes, in case you had questions about the chair and things.
Okay, Mike Moore?
Same with me.
Earl Marcus? Please state your name and address for the record.
Okay. I'm Harold Vargas from Gardner, Colorado. My house address is 25240 Highway 69. And I lived there mostly all my life. Okay. Hope I do things right, but if I don't, it don't make no difference. It's gonna get better. Okay, here's part of my thing. You understand it, maybe and maybe not, but anyway, here you go. You understand it, or I could kind of, because I got some here. On the first part of the agenda here, what I got is, what I was asking for was a spectator's insurance, so we could put on shows, not just for Gardner, but get a spectator's insurance for La Vida, and plus there's events that probably happen here in Waltham. And it's kind of expensive because of the way the economy is anymore. And I like, events to start happening in Gardner, because a lot of people are moving into this country, and they gotta come over here and see something that, events that happen, and if we could work with commissioners, we're taxpayers and everything, but I don't want it to be an expensive show where you go to a PBR show or a show where it costs you an arm and a leg. I like the kids to go with $10, $20 and enjoy the day. People go in at the gate, actually it's gonna be a donation, either $5 or $10, something that's reasonable with the economy and everything like that. And I wanna put on a good show this year, is what I'm trying to do. And if La Vida would like it, cause I got, livestock coming that used to belong to L.D. Ward, which is Alan McCloy. He's out of Morris, Texas. And he's willing to come. He used to do the shows there in Trinidad, but they went into a different situation. And I asked if he'd do it. He'd be honored to come and do it again, because it's something that's been from the past. And we need to bring part of the past back here. And that's what I want to represent us. And a lot of things, okay, that's the first thing that I wanted to do. And the other thing is, we had this water thing come in that was put into Gardner, that where they sell the water and this and that. Okay, I had saved before the pins from the Cattlemen's Association. They used to have scales and everything. Actually, that's what got the arena built. This Tony Pando went and saw this thing that was happening there in Gardner. Okay, the little arena went like that. So then Tony asked me if I wanted something done, a bigger arena, and I said yes. And he says, well, maybe we could get this other piece of land over here so we can make the arena. And I said, okay, that sounds good. And I ended up working 24 hours, and a lot of the community people helped build that arena. We built it from the ground up and everything like that. And then L.D. Ward came in, because I asked him, I used to ride rodeos with him before, and he was in the business for over 75 years. So he came in and did 2 or 3 roads. Then Edgar Wilson came. And then we had Hildebrand, which Harry Wold was involved too, which ended up bringing some Harry Wold livestock in. And then I ended up getting some PBR stock, which I would put events and stuff and help the kids out, give them something to do. And what I need is, we need a fencing so that, what is it? People control. And it got took out. We had the pens and that there. And I like to get, they were promised that I was going to get something like that. And that was a few years ago. Then COVID hit and everything, that never happened. And I'd like to have what belongs to Gallo Rodeo, the Gallo Rodeo, the Tony Pando and Harold Vargas, part of the end right there, and have pens there so that we could sort our cattle out, livestock, or whatever it takes. And it's still, as far as I know, it still was property that belonged to the Cattlemen's Association. I know that it got bought. I got the story here, and it got bought for $1 and this and that, but it was a parcel of piece of land off of it, if you were to read it. But anyway, that piece of property and that there was for Gallo Rodeo, and it's still Gallo Rodeo, but it's still for the public there. It's our public, and it's the only thing that we have for an event. And I know a lot of things are starting to be built there and everything like that. I brought 3 or 4, three carnivals in. But like now that everything's getting built in that parking lot and everything like that, you can't bring a carnival to there. We're gonna have to have another situation there. But they have been brought there because I brought them. And there could be more events happening. But that has to do with the public. And you, the commissioners, are elected by the public. So I just want to see what we could do for the surrounding area right there for us. You know, just like that bathroom there, I'll tell you, it's a nice thing that you guys did, because a lot, it's for the public. But the thing about it is, who's gonna pay for it? Is the taxpayers gonna pay for the cleanup on all that and everything? Okay, that sounds good too. Now, are we gonna have a bathroom put over there where the helicopter pad's gonna be at? No, so in other words, when they land the helicopter, they gotta go over there and squat and do whatever they gotta do and run back over, or run all the way back over here to use the bathroom. You know, because there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be doing lots of work there and everything, but I'm concerned about the public themselves. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that was my main concern on this whole story. And I ain't got, well, I wish I had enough to give everybody, but I don't. But anyway, the year's about over, but this is something that represents the Gallo Rodeo. It's a calendar. And here, and I'm gonna give this lady one because she's the one that told me about how to represent myself over here. And I hope I'm doing a decent job with you, so I'm not trying to look for no trouble or anything like that.
So, Harold, on the insurance, the county carries insurance for property. So anything that happens on county property, we're insured for that.
Okay,
But if somebody organizes an event, the organizer of that event is responsible for the event itself.
well, how about, because the public is gonna be going to this event, and it's a lot of the taxpayers and everything like that go there, and the spectators insurance don't insure me putting an event. They don't insure me, don't insure the people I got working there. They don't insure that group of people. But the people that are sitting on the grandstand, and that if something happens, the bull gets out or something happens there, then they're on county property. So that's what I'm trying to get it situated, where if you can pay for the spectators insurance for Huerfano County, not just for Gardens. If you understand what
I
I'm trying.
understand what you're saying, but in that case, if a bull got out, that's because of the event. The event insurance would have to cover that.
Well, but the thing about it is, to get an insurance is a pretty expensive thing now. It's not like it was before. Before I could go maybe for $1,000, get insurance for a 2-3 day rodeo. And then back then I could get it for the whole summer season, because we did it with all the riders. But right now, then we won't have a show. And La Vida ain't gonna have a show, because they gotta have the same thing, spectators insurance there. And a lot of people ain't gonna go put an event on this. They have a spectators insurance. I'm not just trying to say it, because a lot of the events that happen there, I go out, I put my feet up to go to the stores. You give me $25, $10, $50, or $100. There's generous people that will give you quite a bit of money. But that we still have to pay for the people that hold the events, the stock coming, the trucks bringing stock in, everything that it pertains to. And that's why I'm asking if they could help on this situation. And if La Vida wants to have a rodeo again, a good rodeo, or whatever events they have, they gotta have a spectator's insurance. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm not inclined. I'm not speaking to the commissioner, but I'm not inclined to do that. That should be part of the entry fee for the event. So get that covered. On your other issue, the fencing, we have the fencing. It's setting in La Vida. Okay. So when you're getting ready for an event for this guy next spring of 2024, before that, we'll need to know how many panels that we need to put up in La Vida.
We're not get the footage.
We're not gonna keep them in Gardner.
Yeah, we could get the footage on it, and it's not, and if we could situate it, because like now that they've been doing a lot of cleanup, I ended up going up there, I cleaned up all the weeds and everything that were on the berm and straightened things out. Like they pulled out, the concrete and everything, piles of dirt and everything. I cleaned up a lot of that asphalt and everything that was put on the Gallo Rodeo site. Now, why didn't that get hauled off?
I'm pretty sure that Nick planned on hauling it off.
Well, I pulled it out of there, and Nick said that he didn't even know what that big pile of dirt was there in the middle, and I says, well, you know, all of a sudden, everything's kind of moving up this way, and if we have a fence put up, then maybe, things would, as they pull it out, they could haul it off. Or if they do work there, they could haul it off, or have a place to dump it back up there in that 20 or 30 some acres that was bought on the north end of the. Well, but the thing about it, that's your property or our property. And they're dumping it on, right there on the roadway, so, that's what I'm trying to situate, if we could if we could work with each other, it'd work.
Okay.
Yeah. All work with you.
Is that it, Harold?
And that's it for me. And I hope that, we can work them up, but let me know, this is where I could tell McCloy, or I tell him, we don't have no enchiladas, you know? If it's gonna be a meal it'll be a meal for Huerfano County. And there's people that are doing real estate, you wanna sell real estate, you gotta have some, come and enjoy it. And we could make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Thanks, Harold. Anyone else that did not sign up in the room? Anyone online who would like to speak, please raise your hand. Mr. Littlefield?
I'm gonna too late to put it on the sheet, kind of the part.
Okay. All right, seeing none, we will move on to appointments. And
No, are you? Please make him up.
okay, if she shows, we'll come back to her. Leader of the Fire Protection District, RETAC, Mickey Schmidt and Dave Mower. Yeah, come up and say your name, that is the record, folks.
I'm Mickey Schmidt, my address is 502 East Francisco, Levita, and Dave.
I'm Dave Maurer, Review Fire Protection District, and my address is 390 County Road 365.
Welcome.
Thank you. Did you guys get the letter that we sent?
We did.
So I don't want to go over all of that, but take your questions at any time. Really, what we're here for is we want to reestablish the relationship that we had in the past regarding the RETAC funds that come from the state for support of EMS services. So prior to a couple of years ago, well, I don't know when it actually changed, but it used to be that each agency would apply to the RETAC, the regional emergency medical outfit, for their own grant request, and those requests were reviewed by the RETAC board and funded or not as they saw fit. More recently, our regional RETAC, and it's not this way over the whole state, that our regional RETAC handles it by each county makes their application to the RETAC, and RETAC funds the counties, and the counties disperse their funds as they see fit, the commissioners. So last year, for some reason, we did not participate. Our fire district did not. This was before I was on the board. this year, it's my understanding that, the deadline for the applications still a few days away. So, and we have not been included in this plan for some reason. I don't know. I'm not here to ask aspersions or assign blame or anything, but what we do want is that when these monies are remitted to the county under this grant application, we would like Levia's ambulance service or our fire district to get a proportionate share of those RETAC funds remitted to the county by the state for that purpose. And in the past, when my wife, I don't know if you know or not, my wife was a long time administrator, and this is our director nowadays. At the time, we had a very good relationship. We still do with the Spanish Peaks ambulance, and fire district used to get a share of the RETAC funds. In her memory, well, in our mind, I guess we would like to get 50% since there's only two of us, but I think more historically, we've gotten roughly a third of what was given to the county, just based on, of course, we had our own justifications back then. We should have been involved with the grant requests from the county this year. We were not. But so we would like you to consider when this money comes down, like either adding our request to the county's application to RETAC for this year, or if logistically that can't happen, that when the money comes to you, you would give us due consideration and remit some of those funds or pass some of them on to our district or the BMS services up in the fire protection. We'd like to request 50%. More typically, we've got 30%, which would be, we usually get $15,000 is my information from RETAC, so that would be roughly $5,000 pass along to our district. So that would be for you guys really though to decide what proportion you think our district is entitled to, but mainly we want your consideration when you come to your way. To suggestions of how to get included in this year's funding cycle, if that's possible, or you know, if the application is still open to contact. Still you guys' decision to disperse that money, so I'd be glad to take your questions if you have.
Oh, no.
It's my understanding that Spanish Peaks has already submitted their application, and we've had some personnel changes at Louisiana Fire, so I guess the ball kind of got dropped somewhere in between, and I had made an attempt to coordinate with Spanish Peaks to submit that all as one package, and due to miscommunication somewhere, I was told that they had already submitted the application, and that apparently RETAC already has their application. So that's the reason that we have not submitted anything to this point, is because we were going to coordinate that, and then it had already been submitted. So that's kind of why we're sort of behind the eight ball here. We have as many needs as they do as far as training and material and supplies and operational costs. So anything that, we're a small district, as you're aware, and you know, anything we can get, we're happy to have, but we would like to participate in this. It's an annual event that they put on, so, you know, we get our portion of that. I just wanted to explain why we haven't gotten anywhere to this point.
So, just for discussion, I'd like to throw out, and Carl, I think Carl knows more information for me. But what I'd like to just throw out there is when, perhaps we should have a meeting with the board members from Huerfano County and the commissioner to have a discussion about how to divvy up that money. And I think that 50% is like out of the question. Nice try though. So I think based on comments, I think that's probably the most reasonable metric to.
I'm sorry, you said call volume, is that the determining factor?
That would be my thought.
Historically, I thought it was being able to call volume, because especially you set it like 1,400. It's at 200. One question I was gonna ask, it was pouring through the meeting minutes and things like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, excuse me. But didn't you, there was grant funds that went in for $10,000 for iPads, scanners, the steps, and does that, it's in your minutes that was applied for, grant funds were approved, the amount of $10,000.
I believe that was for the CDPHE grant. That's the best information that I have. My understanding was, according to what we've been told, is that last year, the grant deadline had passed, my predecessor had missed the deadline to submit the grant application. And so that's why, and it was or at least I was on the board at the time, and it was my understanding that the grant deadline had been missed for the RETAC grant, but that those funds were issued from the state, from CDPHE grant. And I may be wrong on that, but I believe that's to the best of my recollection.
Well, in the minutes, it just says that it was approved, it was the side in the very, I don't know, you members, remember my government. It was in the agenda, or it was in your business. Your daily meeting minutes. That, so I don't know, it looked like to me, in the ones that I've been going through, that you guys had received funds over the years, and as far as I can tell.
Well, I do know that last year there was.
When you applied or.
Right. So generally, traditionally, there's two grants, EMS grants, that we all apply for, right? One of them is from the state of Colorado, CDPHE, which is a separate grant from the RETAC. The state gives RETAC the money, and then RETAC sends it out to the county. So it's two different grant applications, two different grant processes. My understanding was, with regard to those iPads and scanners and all that stuff, that those funds came out of the CDPHE grant, the state EMS grant, and that because what brought this to mind was we were in the process of buying another cardiac monitor, which is about $40,000 piece of equipment, and that my predecessor had requested some funding from other sources. And the question was asked, well, you know, did you apply for the RETAC grant? He said, no, you missed the deadline. So that's why we assumed that we weren't awarded any RETAC grants last year. And the funding for those those iPads and such came out of the CDPHE grant. If that makes any sense.
But you're right, historically, except for the last couple of years, we have receive VTAC.
Yeah.
We have shared the VTAC funds that came to the county with the county ambulance, or in this case, Spanish Peaks.
And historically, what percent was that shared on?
I don't know, well, his best recollection was they typically got, between $3,500 and $5,000. And I don't know what percent.
I would say 25 to 30%. I mean, in that range is probably close.
You say
that. All that stuff, you said that. Part of the
CDPHE, the state EMS grant from health department.
Meeting minutes from September 8th, 2022. You signed up on hours on the RETAC grants coming out. See the laptops and the ambulance and the iPads and the grant on the grant.
Okay, well, I apologize that I am confused on that because what I was told versus apparently what we acted on was entirely different, but in any case, to this point today, we have not received or haven't had an opportunity to submit an application for the VTAC this year. And like I said, prior to this, I had communication with Spanish Peaks and we were going to coordinate putting an application in. And then I found out a little bit later that they had already submitted theirs and had already done the VTAC. So it was actually Brandon Chambers from the VTAC was the one that suggested, since that was the case, that we come and present our case to you guys as far as the commission to see if we can.
Well, we just acted on new RETAC board members a couple weeks ago, a month ago.
That's going to be coming again because
we're gonna have to
do that again, but it has to go through our board of directors to be presented to you. So
The deadline is to submit to the RETAC board, and you missed that deadline, but Spanish is not, and I understand too.
I'm not sure. Now, my understanding is that the deadline for RETAC is in November. But generally, historically, the grant application has been made between the two agencies as a group.
But they've already submitted theirs.
They've already submitted theirs and kind of, we didn't get involved in that.
So do you have the ability to submit yours?
Yes, but we were afraid that because they'd already submitted theirs and it's historically been done together as, you know, for the whole county, we just assumed, and probably wrongly so, that we weren't going to be able to submit that.
For these areas, they couldn't submit something?
I don't see why you would be required to do a joint application.
Okay.
You should be able to just go to the RETAC board and reach out to them directly. And they can give you the grant deadline.
Right, which I believe is
Steps
November
to take,
15th.
right, and the steps for you guys to take.
Well, when
But I
did
mean,
you get that?
RETAC has to process that application before it ever
Right.
comes here.
We'll need to get that clarified, because it's our understanding as a board that application is sent in by the counties to the RETAC. And then the money is sent to the county and the county disperses it.
I think, if I may, I think all we have done as far is sign and send off whatever is submitted to us.
I'm sure it has, but
Or, like, we don't know the application.
right, I'm sure of that, but
So I would.
whether we have the ability to now.
So.
It's our understanding.
If the deadline is not till November 15th, could you prepare an application and get it in so that we can act on it?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there something
Absolutely.
specific that you're wanting this year or?
Yeah, we always have training needs and we have specific trainings that we can use that money for. So, yes.
And you will be seeing from us deal for your approval of a change in the RETAC board members, because the guy that was our RETAC representative is not a part of the administration anymore, so we'll be changing that.
You'll be getting that fairly soon too.
So we don't have the exact deadline, we think it's something on the 15th. If that deadline happens to be before the 15th, you want to share your sign information. This isn't, I've never seen something.
It just working through, yeah, the background before the hospital took ambulance. We did, and the county had this discussion, sure, much every year, way back, and then when we turned over the ambulance to the hospital district, the county was still the applicant, but the hospital district and when the fire started doing emergency transport in Leesburg. And then there was some issue because you guys are not putting out our.
Yeah, that has to do with it, but that's really not a RETAC thing, that's access issue.
Which we still do cooperate with Spanish Peace.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've got
Mutual aid and.
mutual aid, and we have a very good relationship with Spanish Peace. This is not about us and through them, it's just about that needs that this money is supposed to go to every district in the state.
And it was, you know, again, just to reiterate that we thought that since that had already, they had already submitted theirs, not realizing we didn't have to do it as a joint application, that we would need to deal with that. So it sounds like.
It's not, well, you're your own district, so you
Right.
would be able to put your needs, you're right.
Right, but we're both in the same county, and that's what I was understanding. that
I
it had to be
would
done.
contact the RETAC board directly, and they should be able to allow you guys to do your own.
Okay, sounds great.
And if not, we can take that action to,
Yeah, we can make a motion now to allow our share to sign the application.
motion and second in discussion. You guys get that? Yeah. Okay. Please.
Richard, what do
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Right, so there's still, you guys still gonna talk to RETAC board and.
Yes, yes, I've been in contact with them, so we're going to continue that communication.
Thank you, thank you. Public trustee report, for everyone.
Okay, tough job. Our 1 day, year that we discussed in our pajamas. Right? Okay, so I'm there with the notes, the public trustee, and I have a report for the third quarter of 2023. I think y'all have copies, right? I think Sam did, and I was got it down, there. So I have 8 foreclosures that I did, 2 confirmation deeds, 3 withdrawals. I have 19 public trustee escrow fees and 78 releases. So like I said, I'm totally up on foreclosures, up to 16 foreclosures up to date from 2 last year. So I am getting a lot of withdrawals, which is good.
Say 15.
I'm up to 16 right now. Yeah, stuff is happening out there, unfortunately.
Can I ask about the treasurer deeds and if you have any pending?
Okay. We have to wait, because of this case, Senate Penn, I think versus, what state was that, Maryland? No. Forget what's it, it was up there back east. There was a strange enactment about a county getting a parcel on a treasurer's deed, and then they actually sold this parcel and had a big chunk of change. So she took it to Supreme Court and now all our laws for treasurer's deeds now are changing because of that case. So right now, I think, Lisa, we have 2 or 3 that are going to do in December, but we kind of put a halt because I have 32 treasurer's deed applications right now. So we put a halt on them as far as continuing them out. We kind of started them. We're waiting for legislation. It sounds like that any property that the county gets on the treasurer's deeds, which is normally it's these ugly pieces of property that nobody wants. But I think we are no longer doing a sale like we normally do. Carl, it's changing to where before it gets to that place, we have to have this auction and possibly treat it kind of like a foreclosure sale. Run it in the paper, I guess, and auction it off to anybody, even though the lien holder has paid for so long, is what my understanding is. So, yeah, we have all kinds of stuff coming down the pike. And Lisa, I have gone to the conference and so many attorneys are this way and so many attorneys are this way.
Yeah, they're all handling it very differently. Some have stopped them altogether.
Yeah.
Some have said, we'll put a little note in there that says, you know, there's this case that may cause us all to fall apart. And so, yeah, it's all very different, what they're doing. So, but I will support you in whatever decision you make, and then, you
Because
know.
we still have laws that are enacting us to follow these procedures.
Exactly.
So now, coming down, I have a tax sale that's on November 17th, and now the lien holders that come and buy my liens are really questioning all of this. I guess our take on it is to tell them that they get their money with interest, no matter what, they're not gonna lose anything. But I'm just not sure if they're gonna be awarded profit at the very end of their, you know, 4 years or whatever. So that part's unclear. So I hope we have a sale. I hope people come out and still buy our liens. But yeah, so it's on the county part. One, it's actually a good deal of a lien holder. So we have a lot of changes coming down the pike of our treasurer's deed. So heads up on that. And not only that, I mean, we're all in jumbles with our budgets, with our proposition HH and all of those things that are happening. So we have so many changes that are up in the air and we don't know which way we're going or whatever. So right now foreclosures is stable the way we do them. That's kind of the same thing. Treasury deeds will change. I know they're gonna change. They're gonna change and then we'll see about. But anyway, I have you to sign this if you approve it, so. Ooh. I told her I didn't need to go off with me. She had goals and everything. You have to take a look at Alicia and the rest of it. Yeah, it's so funny. Make a motion to approve the public trustee third quarter report.
Any further discussion? Yes.
Okay, and then Sam, if you could give me a copy of this, one, okay, I'll let you take that one. Okay. Okay, and I think you should push for October 31st for all employees mandatory to dress in pajamas. Oh, I don't know, I took. Thank you.
Land use, for 23 that 028 more.
Commissioners, this starts on page 54 of your packets. This is a application that we looked at last time during the joint public hearing. The application is to vacate a lot line and utility easement in Alamo Ranch Estates, combining 2 lots. lot 69 and 70. Or to make a total of 4.53 acres. The planning commission viewed this at the last meeting, and they made a recommendation to approve the vacation with the condition that the lots may not be re-subdivided in the future. Since then, I've gotten no communications from the referral agencies. It's on the draft permit that's here at the end of the packet there, page 63. That is one of the conditions that's written down if you choose to.
So, this one, I think it's related. Board will approve this, that issue, you know.
I know it doesn't come in play now because of the voluntary HOA fee, and then it becomes non-voluntary, if they have a plan, if they're gonna assess two fees or just one.
The comment from the HOA was that it affects how many, or no, I'm sorry, it's from the water district, was that it affects how many taps they'd be eligible for. The HOA did not.
You want to adopt the referral comments from.
The referral comments from the water district were something that they'd be eligible for just one tap instead of two. That's really something that we have to do.
Motion second. Discussion.
Thank you.
So, representative Long, actually, plainly,
And the removal of the easement. So along the lot lines in Alvarez Estates, there's a kind of easement on either side of each lot line. So they're removing the lot line and
so we can consider adding the easement vacation to your motion.
yes.
So we have a consolidation that easement vacation with no future of the lot. Fine. Please call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Our next case, 23-035, is a similar request in Alvarez Ranch Estates. This is a request to consolidate 3 lots. This is not a request to movements. So this is a simple lot consolidation. They give outlines. At the last meeting, Chairman Galusha, you asked what this building was in the northwestern portion of lot 52. The applicant responded that's a one-car garage. It doesn't belong to similarly to the last application, the planning commission reviewed this again, recommended approval with the condition that the lots not be re-subdivided. Similarly to the last one, the water districts did comment saying that this would make them eligible for a single tap. The applicants are okay with that.
the easement, you're not going to be.
Correct.
You're not sure.
Should have that survey. Yeah, these guys are just wanting to consolidate the lots for tax purposes, and so they felt that the easement would require a public hearing, and so that was what they decided to go with that.
This is for future urban, they don't need to consolidate the lots for tax purposes. All they have to do is to and we created by the assessor of one part.
So I've updated our guidance on vacations to reference that section. Yeah, so
Second discussion is that we need this a survey to show the easements. So that we take action with the condition that a corrective survey be submitted. If we're not vacating, yeah.
I think that's, if they're aware of. Consolidate, they want to. Still go through that process. But it's protector. Still go back. This,
and the survey does require a signature of the commission, so I'll have them correct that for the rest of the final.
Would you consider adding the motion that the applicant has the option to withdraw should the how do you like that?
I actually think that beats the record for the hardest one I've ever done.
Just give it
Any other discussion? Open the vote.
The quarter,
Yes.
Yes.
The next item, commissioners, is a, oh, sorry.
There's no 2 weeks. I have action.
Yeah.
Resolutions, well, resolutions are.
Oh, that's- yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Secretary.
All right, Commissioner, I have the resolution number 23-43. Resolution recommending,
Second. Discussion. Quick clarification to the public, this is, there was a typo in the original resolution. I think the wrong. Adopting resolution. Call the vote, please. Yeah.
Commissioner, now motion number 23-44, resolution appointing schedule Martinez to abandon the climate action board. On October 31st, 2028.
And discussion. Call the vote, please. Yeah.
Commissioner, after you resolution number 23-45, not Ferrari, working on improvement for 25 Simsbury Road.
Resolution
frozen board for the December.
Forty-five drive, made up $59,180 and 17 cents. This would purchase, a electronic video for the.
We talked about this a lot with Jeff, just to see if it's needed and appreciate you waiting for this and being forward with me. We also talked about the opportunity with funding. Do you know if there's any available?
So apparently there was some kind of window there before I was elected, so we missed that. But moving forward, the state of Colorado's keeping me informed of, and other clerks actually that I've been reaching out to, of funds that may be available in the future.
This is not like Jeff, if it was purchasing orders and you would be able to go and install this year's election.
Correct.
Some we were wondering what came from if we were to approve it additionally on some funding and if we could push this out to the south if something is available. What your thoughts are?
So I did, so Jeff said he would get on it as soon as it would take time, of course, but that he knew of an incident that kind of happened about a month ago, so it's very hard to get on it, so that's the only one. You know, we searched and searched for funding, we searched for prices that would fit. I think this one was like, it was outrageous. It's definitely needed. It should have been done 8 years ago. It's definitely needed. So the sooner we could get on it, the better. It's way cheaper than a lawsuit down the road. That's the way I see it.
I personally would like to see this, do you need it for the primary for next year?
It would be a good idea. And Howard, if you have some questions, I'd be more than glad to explain my reasoning and why, and. But I don't think that's what.
Session to discuss security matters.
Yep, voting on the table to approve this purchase.
We modified in a way that it can be approved. I know times and reasons why I was letting the grant funding. There's no way you can find grants out fast to me.
And there are certain grants that occasionally do that. They are very rare. The earliest grant not.
If we didn't have it for the primary, according to Jeff, he said that we would be one of the few counties that actually would have this in place. It could save us $60,000. Would it be, or 30,000? Would it be okay to not have it in place?
So next year we have 3. We have primary, we have presidential primary and presidential. So we definitely need to have this in sooner than later. Because what we have right now is not.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a discussion. Call for the vote.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you.
Right, this is this is the way metal candidates for the equipment for them. This feed on, candidates, over the. Total amount is $2,200, sorry, total amount is $9,629.97.
So it's absolutely needed. It's another thing that's kind of been pushed off and pushed off. I did want to discuss this a little more once I got the purchase order, because I think I do have some of the funding, so it would be matching me, basically. We probably need more than 3, but at least 3 now to get some of those, stored properly.
Where are they now?
Right out
Right
the
here,
door,
right.
rolled up in the boxes, and they should not be rolled up for you to come, so we're out of room.
You have about 50% funding.
I'm thinking so, I need to double check with Anne, to see what was in my line item available.
I make a motion to approve purchase order 161 for the with the purchase to find in the available to pay the wall.
Second, any discussion? Call the vote, please. Yeah.
I have 162 conversion, and this is for the northeast emergency exit lock replacement, for the digital center. Yeah, $3,742.
Which building have, what about? Call the vote, please.
Yes.
Yes, on that.
I have you an agreement, for their department. The core, amount, $2,760 for the first year, and then $7,260 for years 2 and 3. This software is necessary to run the digital services. Patient record. This is 100%. Yeah. For this year, main thing here is we got to improve the
Motion and second. Discussion. So that approves the first year contract, if it's a 2-year contract. As long as it's understood that it's conditional on the whole.
Commissioner Godd?
Yes.
See. If we working in the room. Comes back, Los Angeles County, DHS, individual therapy. No. Second. Yeah. I wish the next I had a review of the copy certification, but I didn't. I didn't know how to stay on the envelope, and I'm the third from the field. So, every year we get access to 500 envelopes. I have to send signature. Cover around. That we are all, so they have agreed to drop the. We started this with. And. I don't remember exactly what was the. Driving for the kind of, you want to be here, and as well as, there used to be a lot of issues meetings. So, is it necessary?
Yeah.
I would, when is the renewal deadline?
I think the subscription starts November 30th.
Can I ask that we, in this to the, number 14, for this.
If I have for you from the manager for, whoever kind of awarded and movement post grant, to purchase additional DLC equipment, could be matched required for the total amount of $15,030.50. What's that? With the requirement of 7,559.25 cents. The purpose of the fund would be for money. There's, next I have a request to approve the grant, the CWDD grant application. The project will be developed by community wildfire protection and Huerfano County. The county is not have a large scale. Will have to become compliant with the new safeguard farm. Still encourage communities, large ways, so that all individualized plans with their need. This overall county plan will serve as an modifier.
For those online, we apologize, we're working on that sound. Hopefully we'll have that soon.
Sounds better now.
Please bear with us.
Everything sounds better now.
Okay, the board.
Yeah, the sound is better. This is Sandy. The guys that are hard to hear are the commissioners.
It's made a difference.
On the USDA Forest Service CWDG application.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Maybe two systems on the property.
Eat your-
Yes. We had an issue with selling the top that was advertising revenue for correct. Make a motion to approve parcel number 1.87 for a water line.
Open vote, please.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes. Motion passed.
That makes it good.
Wait, anybody hear that? I was whispering. I couldn't hear a thing. I don't even know where you're at.
Can't tell the phone.
What did you just code on?
We just voted on the vendor. The vendor.
I didn't do the audit engagement letter. Okay.
Commissioner, that's have to be on this one. The agreement, there will be on the discussion. This is our engagement with the commission, we see this year. Last year, we hope to pass it, but we should get it on to 2023. On this year. So we're comfortable to approve.
The motion and second is that. Open vote, please.
Commissioner Porter?
Yes.
This is next time you, the 2023 audit of the going company. That's for a moment that. all. Please. Yeah.
So I would suggest that we approve our, we have to complete that process and move together. Have a motion in a second, call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Commissioners, next I have for you, call community service, county refresh, county computer program. This program is for, focusing on managing computers that we criminal signature, we the program. One is for sale, building family, one is for, managed system, on the second. Sometimes I'm going to do one, but I only have to look at the fields. Just in case, what I'm saying here today, original agreement. And you sign this letter, maybe we can do, other meeting. Up to you, define it, but I mentioned this, we have to hear the.
Vice Chair of Council of Governments, we, Council of Governments, that not to be the sponsor of this grant application. Because we're kind of not involved in scoping this, and to date, York County has not been involved in this project. So a letter of support from the county with the condition that we involve. Appropriate, but would still going to be Los Angeles County Center.
So here's changes to modify the list or
I think that we can, give them support, knowing that we're doing a lot of sports. I don't expect it to be a lot of work. But I don't.
motion to sign letters for the Los Angeles, the original purchase of letter. And the very letter is shading to give call to, whereas the Los Angeles, and let me know you'd like to be involved in this. Yes,
No, I think it's pretty much, especially Los Angeles, you guys call them. Not mission. I can call for the day.
Would love to be involved in more regional.
Commissioner Stoyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Hannah?
Yes.
Demovich?
Yeah.
Motion passes. Commissioners, this proposal from the Kent Community Youth Network. Staff has it for time when project. Believe that the Kent Community Youth use landlord. All. We have roughly, hopefully in this case, we can do that. The amount really worth it. The permit will require that. One will require that the kitchen not being installed. These new. Yeah, the purchase. Need to be involved. Well, we don't have. The other part. Here.
Maybe. We're gonna get that. We're going to be in the
Workshop of some type too.
rates.
Just to read your own meetings, perhaps the carefully limit all three portions of the building, only the meeting was for.
This is for 26,800 volts. What would that be?
The calendar must be. So, it's not possible. This portion is even more.
distance, if we're not gonna get rid of this building. We need to, here. For the building, so they design for all three. Two, we don't need. Oh. Yes.
Other conditions, look at you. And this is a change order, it's not a change order. It's. As we previously discussed, they don't have to do the box. Use the trucks as a plane and use the box. This is simply additional architecture. The hearing work. The generic firm of benefits become with these. We are still, if not, the money. That number includes 200,000 in DORA and the impact. My recommendation is that you have. If you approve. Bring water in the pool, please join with rid of the roof, come down and support it. The city joint and go up to the building. Water pool run on top of that joint, structure there. Your contractor, your team thinks that, changes in engineering and made, will break the straight in that. From weight onto steel, onto new steel or whatever, that's going to exist, we will be doing. But it's possible that insurance for some of this. Awesome. Also, this is also a couple of weeks ago, so. I would say you should. Awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Very nice. I mean, I think that's. I don't think we need more. So, you know, save the money on steel. Hopefully, architecture firms and the general contractor. Save money.
Yeah.
Commissioners, next I have for you. First of all, on these, on the committee, offered one thing. This is a different vehicle for the this number, that 5,806 number includes a few food last week. This year, I haven't been working for it yet, so this could be cases. Here's the this could be provided to that's what I have for you
They aren't. And I think it's the microphones because I can't hear you guys.
So, I would personally. Be better. There would be some conditions on that. Consensus on that.
Transformation. And yeah, speaker, as well as any announcements, enter into the RFP. I think our minds may have one way that I think John's one way, but I'd like to see options and we all need to do what's best for our community and work. Our closes yesterday. And we had
It's RFQ calls yesterday, and we have
that's where the process is. Anyone here on behalf of? But here you are.
Here I am.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Name is Chris Smith, 1120 Panadero Avenue. And we don't necessarily, as a board member of the Pachara Foundation, we don't necessarily need it back or want it back. But that's the original intent back when we raised the money to buy the property. To make it a public park. Like I said, we're just interested to let you know that we're interested in changing title. Get it back. It's currently the county. Will not want. But we're perfectly, on the same agenda, I guess you'd say at the very beginning. SE group study that came up, what the functions of the park need to do for the public. If you have resources that we're spending, trying to put a proposal together, and taking all the surveys of all the everyday around the county. But what can be the best format that you can promote first, move second, and third. And we're still committed to do that. And it has nothing to do with the RFP. It's totally different than RFP. That's a whole different issue. So, Fair Foundation is not interested in running it. We're going to find an operator. Just like the SE group. Schedule meetings. And you'll notice there was a strange letter that came out to you guys. I'm not sure how many letters it has been done. Oh. The functions of what we're trying to do were a little more clarified. And all it was a letter. That's all. That's, you have anything more? Yeah. There's some most senior board.
Sure. Only by age for treasurer, not by intelligence. Give your name and address to the record.
Michael Moore, 137 East Cuchera Avenue, Colorado. To address John's question, the GOCO grant, I don't think there's any question that we intend to leave the park open to the public. And meet all the requirements of the GOCO grant and any money spent by the county. Right now, one of the reasons I'd like to see it come back is we've been stymied for several months. We're having a hard time having skiing going on up there because we can't work. So if we can get it back, we're not, like Chris said, we're not opposed to anybody else coming in. We would look at anybody that wants to help do this thing. I think our intentions are the same. We're backing all the people of the community that donated the money to buy it. We don't want to. We want to see it remain small like it is. We just want to see it move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, can I suggest if there's anyone online that wants to make a comment that perhaps we write in the chat to write us a note in the chat back that says they want to speak, and then they can unmute and hopefully we'll be able to hear them.
Sure.
The other thing they're noting is the only mic they can hear is the podium. They're hearing it very well, but nobody else. The only mic they're hearing is
I went downstairs and watched.
okay.
I think what our important to say is that we need to make sure that we nail down the conditions that we have to comply with. Just that, make that term a 20-year term, just comply with the conditions of the grant, the reason we received, plus the community, the citizens' money that we invested in the park, as you guys are all aware. The initial intent of this park was to be a county park. When in fact we primarily catered to the Kuchar community. There has been a lot of participation from all members part of it. So I just want to make sure that the money that was invested by the county remains available to the public should they decide to do it. That's my. Basically.
Yeah, Michael Lynch, 3.5 Fair Place, 11.
See how well the speakers are working? Everybody else has a mic, you do not hear them through the speaker.
Park is gonna be, doing some proposals, discussion, and to my point. Many of you know that I,
Oh my God, seriously, all this time.
Writing program. I've been doing that since before Pinadera Ski Corp took over the leadership of Kuchar Mountain Park. And I'm up there several times a month. So I'm accustomed. I'm not on their board. I have friends on the board, but in relationships, but I'm accustomed. I bring the kids up there for, and this is all over the county. This is not just Kuchar kids. In fact, very few Kuchar kids come up there. It's kids from Wasselberg, Levita, Gardner, and we go up there for hiking, not snowboarding, sledding, archery, fishing, hut golf, and so we go up there once during the winter, and then the rest of the time it's spring and summer programs. But I know the kids, I know their families. 80% of the kids go month in and month out every month, and so those kids are from all over the county, and it's my passion and mission to appeal to all of the kids and their families in this county to do something fun and safe. And I have never had that experience up there at the park with any of these programs. You know, our folks are up there, I'm up there, our parent drivers are up there, and somebody from the board of Panadero will come out and meet us to make sure that all our needs are met. Everything is done in a safe manner, which is very important to me because I feel great responsibility for those kids. And it's just been a great experience, but if you think that just people are using it from Kuchar, I would take the different, in my perspective. There's kids from all over the county that come, and it's a great program. It's a great area. I'm very thankful for that piece of land, and I'm very thankful for the people that put in thousands of hours, and I can't even imagine how much work has gone in volunteer-wise. But I'm very thankful for them as a customer. And just want you guys to know that. And it's all off the cuff. Even though I was going to do this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
One other item that just came to my attention a couple days ago was we'd like to make sure that if the county gives back to the Kuchar Foundation, and we agree to the 20 years, definitely be a part of it. But we would like to make sure that we don't get property taxes placed on the park. We are for the kids and the people, everything in the county. In Southern Colorado. My intention has always been to see at least one day a month, if not 4 days, Fridays a month, kids can come up there and ski for free if we can swing at it. Any other questions?
I know. Or, so the Chair Foundation does 501c3. Yeah, right, so under their ownership and the use, I think that's what qualifies.
Okay, I just wanted to get that on the table. That's the only requirement I see. You have to have it more so.
My name is James Littlefield with 58 Cedar Ridge in Kachara. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm speaking a little out of turn. I would like to have heard from some of the others that are online and unable to speak. I want to take a moment and just go back through a few of the things that have been accomplished between Glendale Tea Corporation and the county. That organization, 501c3 as well, has raised $200,000 to $300,000 through multiple public events, successful grant applications and awards, and frequent donation campaigns that have been used for the restoration of the ski area and establishment of the Kachara Mountain Park. And I stress that because it isn't all about Lift Forward. It's all about everything in that park, from disc golf, which I have personally mowed multiple times, and lots of the other things that we do. Installed a new 440-volt service to Lift 4, rebuilt and reconnected snowmaking, lights, and the pavilion. We didn't build the pavilion, the county built that, but we brought both 220 and 110 to that, so that when food trucks come in and other things for events, like the free music concert a couple of Saturday nights ago, can be held. And those were in thanks to the people that have been such generous donators and patrons to that park. I was there that night. I looked for county commissioners. I didn't see any. Rebuilt Lift 4 electrically, mechanically, and in lockstep with the Colorado passenger tram board requirements. This has meant bringing engineers and ski industry expertise to the Kachara Mountain Park for multiple inspections and visits at considerable expense to oversee and augment the PSC team of experienced personnel and volunteer efforts. Lift shacks were rebuilt, chairs painted, donation signs added to each chair, and bigger signs for larger donors on towers. I brought photos of some of the stuff that I'm happy to leave with the commissioners to purview at your leisure. A certified ski patrol team was appointed. The director of that organization was certified not only as the director of that team as a ski patrol person, but also teach the courses. And as serves on the PSC board. The team built a fully equipped ski patrol clinic with medical equipment, on-mountain emergency capabilities, oxygen, AD, patient beds, cots, chairs, two-way radio, sleds, and ancillary equipment. The same team conducted 3 required lift evacuation training sessions. I was personally involved in 2 of those. The chairs, with the Colorado Passenger Tram Board permission, was to ride up between Tower 2 and 3 and to be lift evac out of those chairs. I was one of the ones lift evac, and my older colleague here, Mike Moore, was also. And it was all safe and successful. I've heard some of the aspersions, concerns about safety, and I can tell you, having been involved in this from day one, no longer on the board, that I have not seen an unsafe act once. Liability insurance has been procured by PSC, naming Huerfano County as an insurer, providing indemnification to the county from risk during winter activities. That was a requirement you folks put on us. It was the right thing to do. We did it. Got through last winter, not even a Band-Aid was applied. The public support through all that time was outstanding. And many of those folks were from across our county, from Pueblo, Trinidad, teachers from Trinidad with students.
We re-cleared the old ski trails that Lift Force served, and even some backcountry trails on the slopes to ensure safer facility. We get a lot of folks that come up there. They don't care whether the lift ever operates or not. They're quite happy to hike up and ski down. One guy from Boulder does it 4 times in one day. We established an MOU with CCOM. The county and PSC provide space for their tower and equipment to provide internet service in Cachara. It was vital. We hope fiber gets there someday, but it's not there yet. And that's been vital. There was no agreement in place. We were happy to work through that. Worked with Kyle, the attorney, got that put in place. It's all working fine. I had a call Saturday when the internet went out, reached their technical guy, they take care of it. To me, that's multi-agency and organization cooperation benefiting the entire community. We acquired, or they acquired, Panhandle Ski Corp acquired and maintained multiple snowcats, grooming and snow farming equipment that goes with it. Everybody always likes to say, gee, you can't ski there, it faces south, you gotta make snow. Well, we have been making snow, and last winter wouldn't have been possible, and all those happy people without making snow. They built a so-called snow bus that is towed up the mountain with 22 patrons on board each time. That's its maximum capacity. It has bus seats on it. It's a 10-minute round trip for skiers until Lift 4 becomes operational. It played to rave reviews last night. I personally rode it at the bottom end of that slope every weekend, just about every weekend that it was open. Snowmaking system was rebuilt. The pump house, which is owned by Cacharo Sanitation and Water District, was cleaned out and restored, multiple pipe leaks repaired, digging down 10, 12 feet, sometimes in the winter. 1,200 feet of new pipe was just delivered 2 or 3 weeks ago. The guys would love to get after that and get it done and be able to make snow this winter. They've worked on the tall stanchions that hold both the lights and in some cases the large snow guns. Pictures of that included in here as well. And repaired those from the bottom to the top of the mountain. Partnered for all the water requirements and the agreed acre feet, portions of acre feet for snowmaking that have existed since the early 70s and in cooperation with CSWD. They've taken steps over the last few weeks to redo the partial flume that allows the amount of water to come in for snowmaking and for their use. Again, all in solid partnership with a great neighbor. I mentioned earlier, regular mode the hiking and ski trails. Again, hiking and ski trails all through the mountain. The disc golf trail, all of that has been taken care of by the Panhandle Ski Corp folks. Cleared fallen and dead trees that could pose hazards to park patrons. Seeded the slopes with native grasses. All things I'm sure you've never heard of. Procured and placed large safety pads. Procured, bottom with donation money, placed large safety pads on the lifts and the lift towers, the light towers, electrical and snowmaking panels, placed markers and safety ropes where other potential hazards were identified. The work has been accomplished largely by volunteers, one paid contract employee, barely above minimum wage, and a couple of part-time contract employees. Those are the folks that have done that work. The employee's been taking care of duties. The employee has been taking care of duties that used to be handled by a county employee. Opening the day lodge for events, cleaning and supplying the restrooms, even the outdoor restrooms, mowing the disc golf course, etc. So again, trying to underscore there have been a lot of very fine accomplishments. And in my opinion, apparently a few rumors floating around, unsubstantiated as near as we can tell, because you told us in the last meeting, client attorney privilege, we aren't going to tell you that I think damaged the name of Panhandle Ski Corp, and that's a shame. And I hope if that ever has to see the light of day that we get to take it on and profit, because it's just flat wrong. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone online? Thank you. Okay.
Commissioners, I just want to confirm again that you have reviewed the GOCO agreement, particularly sections 7 and 23.
What are they?
Section 7 is on property ownership, and section 23 is on breach of contract.
I have to read it again, but
So
I read it. I didn't see an issue.
section 7 says that all properties on which GOCO funded projects are located must be owned or under the control of the grant recipient for the useful life of the project. Grantee warrants that it has good and sufficient title to the property or properties on which the project is to be located, quote the property. GOCO may require the grantee to provide evidence of its ownership of the property and encumbrances against the property satisfactory to GOCO and GOCO's discretion prior to funding. And then in 23, particularly section B, after any payment of grant, GOCO reserves the right to see specific performance of the grantee's obligation under this agreement, received reimbursement in full of any disbursements made under the grant, including in the event the grantee does not fulfill its obligation under paragraph 9 due to lack of annual appropriations and or deny grantee eligibility for participation in future GOCO grants, loans, or projects. So I say that to say, before you take an action here, I really highly recommend that you speak to GOCO.
Yeah. Modify my agreement to make sure that we table this until we can make sure of the legal requirements and our contractual requirements as well before we make that decision, final decision.
Is that your motion to table this? Is that a motion or?
Yes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. So this would be tabled to do some research to see what the impact would be of transferring the ownership back to the foundation. Please call for the vote.
Commissioner Andreatta?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes. I want to thank you guys for coming and stating your opinions. I think my guess is we're going to continue down the path of the RFQ while we do the research. So we're not bottlenecking this again. Hopefully.
May I ask one question?
You have to come to the podium.
Yes, come to the mic, please.
I need to restate.
Yeah, just your name.
James Linfield. Earlier, I heard RFQ, I've heard RFQ again. I believe in the newspaper it said request for qualifications. Am I correct?
Correct.
Because earlier it was stated, and I felt like it was being portrayed as there's a few days away, closing, and we've got bids coming in. But it's only a request for qualifications at this point, is that correct?
Correct. We have
Okay, I just want to be sure, because we entered a 7-month process back when Moss Adventure was considered. We had, and they were the only respondent. We pontificated, we scored, we did all kinds of hurdles and things through 7 months to then only kick them into the curb and lost a winter of skiing. And I fear if we dawdle along on this, we're going to face the same situation. We're desperately trying to get the place open and be able to have kids enjoying themselves this winter. But we're going to go back into this serendipity journey. And I just think it's wrong. That's why I wanted that clarified. It's only for qualifications at this point. You can do what you're trying to do, get on with this, let our workers get back to work and be ready for the season. They could have been making snow last weekend. It's 11 above at my house. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Any other action items?
No other action items.
I assume we are at reports. Staff reports, county administrator. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
Just one more thing, I think Jim didn't say is we would really like you to lift the stop work order. So that we can continue getting the snowmaking and the lift ready to go. I realize that requires letters from engineers, which we have gotten.
Have you made those letters to engineers available to Mr. Littlefield?
I'm not aware that they have or haven't.
I think he would be very interested to read those letters from the engineer.
I agree.
I agree with you.
The commissioners, I don't know if you want to address the stop work order, and the contract expires tomorrow at noon.
I understand that everyone wants the park open and they want it open for the public. I get that, but it will not be a detriment to the citizens when we're putting safety on the back burner. So safety has to be first and foremost. I really encourage you to look into some of the things that have transpired, and I think your eyes would be opened a lot more than they already are. So thank you.
Commissioners, I can add to that a little bit. I sent you an email regarding this, but I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of this. The Colorado Passenger Tramway Safety Board is holding a meeting tomorrow, November 1st. They only hold these quarterly, at which they will be discussing their investigation into Canadero Ski Corporation allowing the public to ride the lift in violation of the Tramway Board laws. Unfortunately, the county is at risk of significant monetary fines and licensing penalties due to its contract with Canadero Ski Corporation as a concessionaire of the park. So I unfortunately have hearings starting at 9 AM when this meeting starts. So I'd like to have a county representative listening to that meeting as well.
Are those meetings open to the public?
They are. You have to go to the Passenger Tramway Board website and register for the meeting. It is a webinar, but anybody can register, and then they'll send you a link to the webinar.
Excellent.
Administrator's report.
Please.
Commissioners, I want to present to you McKinstry's report for the month of October. We have completed a number of the facility improvement measures. We still have several in progress that will complete in November, including removing electric heater at the Gardner well 1, replacing rooftop units on the Walsenburg Community Center. I forgot what WSS is, as well as completing the rest of the interior and exterior lighting. We are holding on the solar voltaic systems. I'm meeting with McKinstry's consultant on the tax credits tomorrow, just to make sure that I'm not missing something in this application that makes it more complicated. The gutter repair at the courthouse will be done this month, as well as the power red that will take longer. That will go through next year, next July, and the facility condition assessments should be done this month. It could be done in November as well. We also have network programmable thermostats coming into the DA's office, the weekend temperature setback at the judicial center, and the courthouse, the update and repair of the train controls, also to start and finish next month. That's all I have for you.
County attorney.
Nothing to report in this session. However, I do believe we have several things to discuss in executive session.
Okay, correspondence.
Commissioners, first I have for you a technical update from CTSI, Secure Act 2.0. The next technical update from CTSI is on wildfire mitigation. After that, we have another one for them on hostile work environment. Item 9D is the field report number 4 for the courthouse masonry restoration project, which I also do expect to complete in November. I will say that they are working on railings for the front porch. And that's not included in the scope of the SHF grant. So that'll be a county only bid, but they're coming with designs that have been approved by SHF now. There's a letter, a 9E is a letter from the Spanish Peaks Harp Retreat. Thanking us for waiving the fee for the community center this past September. 9F is a letter from the FAA regarding the use of unmanned aircraft systems to disperse wildlife at an airport. Item 9G is a letter from the Vita Fire Protection District regarding the effort to vacate County Road 363. Item 9H.
Can I just make a statement there?
Yep.
There's not been a discussion to vacate County Road 363. It's a legal closure that's been discussed and not a vacation. I just want to be clear there.
9H is the slides and plans from the last airport transportation airport advisory committee. This is for the master plan. The committee did choose to recommend airside option 2, both the airside and landside development plans you'll see in there for option 2, which would plan to extend the runway to the west. This is of course nothing that we necessarily have to do, but that's going to be the recommendation in the master plan if we choose to extend the runway. And then of course you also have the meeting summary in there as well, and that is the end of correspondence.
Okay. Thank you. So our next item would be an executive session with the statutes 246424B, legal advice, specifically Solano versus Board of County Commissioners. Also under 4B, County Road 346 encroachment. Also under 4B would be Kuchara Mountain Park Lift 4. And then 246402-2F, Department of Human Services staffing. I would entertain a motion for executive session.
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second discussion. No vote will be taken in executive session. No decisions will be made, and no decisions will be made after executive session. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Andreatta?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And at 12:22, I'm going to recess the regular meeting. What are your questions, Eric?